Wait, I beg you. Would you truly kill me, your ally, just to protect the Roselle? The Roselle are a tainted people. Your efforts shall bear no fruit.
How dare you insult my people?
Ah! How could you?
I lose too many employers this way. I'd best make myself scarce.
As if we'd let you get away. Word of this can't get out.
Too late. Silvio sent word of your betrayal eons ago. Expect High Zant's army on the morrow. They'll finish the job then.
And so, we've bought no time at all.
Lord Serenoa, I cannot thank you enough for coming to our aid.
Allow us to show our gratitude with a feast.
I'm afraid we haven't the time for such levity.
We must tend to the wounded, of course. But fight or flee, surely we have time enough to catch our breath and fill our stomachs. Let us not spurn their kindness.
The young lord's right. Steal that belly of yours.
What are you doing here, dear Roland?
Jerome is a young man of formidable convictions.
Indeed. He took the fate of his people in his hands and fought for their freedom.
Just as you have done.
I did what any lord would do to protect the sovereignty of their land, nothing more. I will not see the Roselle stripped of their humanity and treated as objects.
High Zant's goddess has always seen them as such.
History has ever seen the strong rule the weak, but that does not mean it must always be so.
I do not mean to excuse it. Rather, I see now that this village and all of House Wolford suffers because of the royal family's impotence.
That's not...
I speak the truth, and you know it. Cordelia and the people of Glenbrook cry for aid as we speak. Yet here I sit, cowering behind a mask and a false name. Who dare call me a leader?
Serenoa, making a valiant stand in defense of the Rosellan village, slays Silvio Tellior. Word of their disobedience reaches the Holy One, who sends an army to conquer the heretics. With the enemy only a day's march from their doorstep, House Wolford and the Roselle scramble to mount one last stand. Time is of the essence.
So that's the size of it. House Wolford has gone to such great lengths for us.
It was our decision and ours alone. Your people brought nothing upon us.
It is as Serenoa says. We are happy to do all that we can to protect you.
Forgive me, Lady Frederica, but your mother was Lady Orlea, was she not? You came to our rescue just as she did. I cannot help but feel 'twas fated to be so.
You knew my mother?
Where did you hear of this, Jerome? I've told you not a whit about her.
I overheard whispers between my mother and father long ago. Why would the elders labor to keep such information secret?
Well, truth be told, we feared being persecuted anew.
And so your greatest fears have come true. Pray, hide no longer, and tell Lady Frederica what you know.
You know the history of Hyzant's oppression of the Roselle, yes? Then you know of the Rosellan revolt that occurred 30 years ago. Your mother, Lady Orlea, led that uprising at the source. She led us to freedom from Hyzant's rule, here to the Wolfort domain. She was a woman of great courage. She even left a sizable gash upon the goddess's statue as we departed.
The statue that stands tall in the source. I've never heard tell of this gash.
I reckon not. Hyzant would never admit to such a thing. But we Roselle know the truth.
I had no idea my mother was involved with the revolt, let alone led it.
And it was my father who gave them this land to settle.
That he did. Lady Orlea, for her part, vowed to fight on, to liberate those who remained in Hyzant. The rest of us, battered and bruised in the escape, parted ways with her and remained here to live out our days in peace.
And so she eventually found her way to Esfrost, where she was taken in. I thank you for sharing such a wonderful chapter of my mother's history.
I hear she rallied the people to her cause with these words. The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessings spread across all Norzelia. The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
How much of this have you heard?
Hold. I beg you, recite those words once more.
The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessings spread across all Norzelia. The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
So there exists a key that gives the lie to the goddess's teachings. With that in hand, we can yet confront Hyzant.
Pray tell, good elder, what might it look like?
Alas, I fear I do not know.
I know not to what they were referring, but my parents always said Lady Orlea left it in this village.
Then the key is here. Jerome, please. We would speak with your parents at once.
I'm afraid that's not possible. They both passed many moons ago.
We must find this key, Lord Serenoa. I know it sounds like a fool's errand, but I feel we have no other choice.
I agree. 'Tis a slight hope, but hope nonetheless. Let the search begin. Elder, for the sake of the Roselle, I've come to speak with you about the key.
Lord Serenoa, I am not one to speak in metaphor and code. I bid you tell me precisely what it is you seek.
Could this pink rock be the key?
Where did you find that?
So it is the key. What do you know of it?
Clearly I can deceive you no longer. I shall tell you everything.
What is this strange pink rock?
A simple taste shall tell you all you need to know.
My word, it tastes of salt. No, it is salt.
Truly, a rock of salt.
Indeed, it is. And the story behind it is a long one. This crystal before you was brought here by Lady Orlea.
My mother brought this?
And you knew of this the whole time, Elder?
Yes, but the seeds of conflict ought not to be left in the sun where they are apt to grow. That was our decision.
Are there any other crystals like this?
There are. Lady Orlea spoke of a repository rife with salt, hidden somewhere in Norzelia.
And where might that somewhere be?
Unfortunately, I do not know. And I fear the knowledge passed with Lady Orlea herself.
Do you know anything about this, Lady Frederica? Anything at all? Did your mother ever mention these crystals to you before? It is imperative that you remember.
I apologize, but this is my first time hearing of them as well.
Calm yourself, Benedict. You're scaring the lass.
Calm myself. The very existence of this crystal changes the nature of our realm as we know it. If you have ever wondered why Hyzant oppresses the Roselle or confines them to the source, this is your answer.
So they did it all to hide the existence of the repository and monopolize salt.
And not just that, anyone who finds that repository could reign over all Norzelia.
Would it really have so great an influence?
Salt is a divine boon, a gift from the goddess to her true believers. It is one of Hyzant's fundamental beliefs, one that, due to their monopoly on both salt and the source, has appeared true all these years. But no longer. With this crystal alone, we can prove their doctrine false.
Revealing their absolute teachings to be mere fabrications would shake Hyzant to its very core.
There may be hope for us yet.
A report, my lord. Hyzant's army is on the horizon.
Lord Serenoa, if you would, I should like to be the one to speak to them.
Of course, Benedict. I leave the matter in your capable hands.
Lord Serenoa, how unfortunate it is for us to meet under such circumstances. But for disobeying the Holy One's order, I must strike you down.
Before that, Minister Exham, there is something we wish to show you.
It is a mere fragment of something we have discovered in this village. It is a crystal made entirely of salt.
What madness is this you speak? This is salt, indeed. But how is this possible?
It appears to have been passed down among the Roselle, and in a quantity large enough to rival the source.
Unbelievable.
Perhaps so, but we have proof. Salt can be found in places other than the sacred grounds beneath the goddess's feet. I am certain the implications do not escape you.
What is it that you want?
An audience with the Holy One, and a guarantee of safety for us and everyone in this village.
It would be a waste to dispose of both the crystal and House Wolford here. Very well then. I shall secure you an audience with the Holy One. And you have my word that the village will be safe from harm.
Thank you, Minister.
Oh, how I wish I could see the Holy One's face contorted so.
We owe our lives to this. A crystal of salt. Or salt crystal, shall we call it?
The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessings spread across all Norzelia. The blessings of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
Can you imagine if crystals like this were hidden beneath the surface of Norzelia?
I cannot imagine Hyzant being blind to their existence. Salt is the lifeblood of their nation.
Agreed. Which leads me to believe that they have relentlessly oppressed the Roselle to hide it.
You intend to negotiate with the Holy One, then?
Correct. This time, we shan't fail. Not with this salt crystal in our hands. Hyzant will swear its support to us.
If their teachings are truly false, could you not ask them to free the Roselle at the source?
That is a risk we cannot afford to take. Our first priority is rebuilding Wolford. Without it, we cannot even hope to protect our own Rosellan village. I do hope you understand.
I see. I suppose you are right.
And what will you do once granted those privileges, Benedict?
What will I do?
I tire of being made to decide like this time and time again. Don't you, Serenoa?
I do. Our choices grow ever harder, each time piercing me deeper.
It's time we decide what to do for ourselves. I wish to reclaim Glenbrook. With Hyzant beside us, we can defeat Esfrost. So when we meet, I will ask the Holy State to go to war with us.
House Wolford protects the Roselle in defiance of the Holy One's orders. Hyzant sends an army to punish Wolford for their disobedience. Cornered though they may be, Serenoa and his comrades discover a crystal of salt, hidden in the Rosellan village. Benedict leverages its very existence in negotiations with the opposing General Exum and succeeds. The crystal holds the power to change not only Hyzant, but the entire land of Norzelia. With it in hand, Serenoa goes to meet the Holy One.
Got you right in my sights.
There are too many of them, Minister Archibald.
And flee we must. I'll hold them here, but you lot, retreat!
Minister Archibald!
No, this cannot be how it ends. My lungs yet draw breath, my heart yet beats. This place shall not be my grave. So the cycle of war and chaos begins anew. And once again, I must take up my bow. I've been watching you fight from afar, and I like what I see. Almost reminds me of myself in my younger days.
You flatter me.
Still, I doubt you'll emerge victorious. Without me on your side, that is. The name's Archibald. Allow me into your ranks, and you'll see. I can match men half my age, shot for shot.
I couldn't ask one so elderly to risk his life in battle.
This graybeard survived the Salt Iron War with naught but the bow at his back, I'll have you know. And my aim is just as sharp now as it was then. I haven't many years left, lad, and I'd like to spend them fighting for a just cause.
If that is what you wish, then I shall not refuse. We welcome your bow.
We granted you an audience because of Minister Exham's petition, but I did not expect you to show us this. A crystal made of salt. How very fascinating. It certainly does contradict the doctrine here in our blessed land. Or it would, were it real. Have you any proof that this was not created by magic or technology?
Well...
With all due respect, Minister, I have a question for you in return. What do you think of Esfrost and Glenbrook's decree to stop trade with Hyzant?
I think it nothing more than a threat. Neither would last very long without our salt.
Gustadolf is no fool. Such an edict would not come without proper countermeasures in place. Countermeasures such as another source of salt, for example. Having their own salt would make Hyzant's redundant, at best, and your nation would soon find itself in dire straits without the salt tax's revenue.
What is it you want from us?
Your full support.
Lend us your strength, and together we can defeat Esfrost, and Hyzant's ties to all nations will remain intact.
You mean to start a war. The Kingdom of Glenbrook may be naught but a puppet now, but it was once your homeland. You understand this, yes?
We do.
Even so, my people do not wish for war. We must try to resolve this peacefully first.
Do you think Gustadolf can be reasoned with? Need I remind you that it was he who invaded Glenbrook? He is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Be that as it may, neither my people nor soldiers will accept it as a reason to go to war.
Then I shall give you one. For I am the second son of King Regna. Roland Glenbrook.
You live.
There is no mistaking that face.
Huh. So the prince lives to slay his kingdom's invader. We could not ask for a better reason.
If you need a just cause to go to war, let it be me. We must stop Gustadolf.
It all makes sense now. O Holy One, have you heard? Pray, tell me what you would have us do. It shall be done. Wolfort, Prince Roland, heed the words of the Holy One. The holy state of Hyzant stands with you. The Holy One would see you defeat Esfrost and restore peace to Norzelia. Our nation shall spare no effort in your fight against Gustadolf. From this day forth, we support Prince Roland as our commander and Lord Serenoa as one of the Saintly Seven.
Me? A saint?
We are brethren now. we ride to war together.
Well, would you look at that? We secured Hyzanth's support, and you even got yourself named one of the Saintly Seven.
We also received a signed document stating the Roselle in Wolford are left in our care.
Good going, lad.
Oh, it is Benedict and Roland to whom we owe this victory.
Everyone here has suffered so much on my behalf. My weakness and worthlessness have brought pain and misfortune to you all. And for that I must apologize.
You've got nothing to apologize for. I already told you. House Wolfort's the sword and shield of the crown.
I've decided that I must press forward, even if it means crawling forth on my hands and knees. I ask for your support as always. I know I will need it.
And you shall have it. I am with you every step of the way, my lord.
Is something the matter, Frederica?
No. My apologies for worrying you.
Now, to battle! We take back Glenbrook with our own hands!
Did you know about this salt crystal exam?
No. Neither did I know of Prince Roland's survival. I thought he had perished.
Likewise. What did you make of the Holy One's decree?
Hyzanth is a grand nation, but unfortunately not one blessed with a bountiful harvest of anything other than salt. Were we not able to trade, there is no doubt our nation would wither to naught. We've relied solely on salt for much too long, and that reality was made painfully clear to us.
Harsh words, but true nonetheless. Do you think we can triumph over Esfrost?
Mark my words, Minister Camsell. There is no fight Exham Marshal cannot win.
The Holy One has ordered for us to deliver our Elfric to House Wolfort.
And here I thought your research results to be top secret. What a curious turn of events.
Perhaps the Hierophant determined it a good chance to test them in the field. They could easily sink an Esfrosti's ship or two.
And yet I see not a trace of a smile on you.
I never wanted to build weapons for war.
Yet you don't think twice about toying with human life. How ironic.
How dare you!
Have a wonderful day.
The audacity of Edor's dog.
Are you certain it's wise to return to Esfrost alone, Your Grace? You are needed here.
If Sikrus's missive is to be believed, I'm afraid matters are far too grave to be left to anyone else. Svarog's deception is nearing its climax. His ill-gotten profits are being used to build a weapon of untold destructive power.
Our anonymous source from the manufactory hinted at as much. Svarog is bold to have carried out his plan this far.
Death Snell? What's that?
Let the adults speak, my dear.
If we're to be wed, then there should be trust between us. How long do you intend on treating me like a child?
Very well. Tell her, Thalos.
If you insist, brother. This weapon combines the powerful explosives developed by Dragan with Esfrost's mastery of steelcraft. Although yet to be tested, this cannon is said to have the power to breach even Hyzan's walls. The goddess's shield would buckle under a single blast.
But the shield is impregnable.
I have heard nothing of this. Do you think so little of your general?
A general is to win me victory, as and when I command it.
Svarog's intent isn't to bring Hyzant to heel, however. He means to use the cannon against Brother. But the fool was so blinded by ambition that he never saw the strings guiding his every deed.
Fool that he may be, he served his purpose well. The cannon could not have been made without his engineers and Dragan's research. He will die secure in the knowledge that his bloodline contributed to the glory of Esfrost. Sadly, he shall not live to see his work completed. With it, we shall do what our forebears could not. The goddess's shield shall yield before Esfrost's might and ingenuity.
If we can even approach the walls, brother, the trade embargo will ensure that Hyzant is especially wary of our actions.
On the contrary, their focus will turn inward. With naught else to leverage their influence with, they will take measures to see that none of their precious salt escapes their borders. There may be some gnashing of teeth, to be sure, but it will only be in an attempt to hide their inner turmoil. Erica, muster a force and march to the Hierophant's palace at once. Deliver to Hyzant my final demands.
As you wish, brother. I shall gather what news I can of the Saintly Seven's machinations.
Thalas, you will remain in Glenbrook. Conduct yourself as if I had never left.
You hardly need to ask, brother.
That is all. Now go.
Even his own flesh and blood are but tools to be used and then discarded when their purpose is served.
He has faith only in himself. Such has ever been his way.
Esfrost and Glenbrook remained strong after declaring a trade stop with Hyzant. Gustadolf sends Erica to Hyzant to deliver his ultimatum, and dispatches an army to Glenbrook to increase the pressure on the Holy State. Hyzant, under the banner of Prince Roland, sends Minister Serenoa Wolfort of the Saintly Seven to prepare for retaliation. Softly but surely, Norzelia descends into war once more.
Those are the Archduke's wishes. I implore you not to forget that this is his final offer. Come to think of it, I heard that Wolfort was added to your saintly ranks. Where might he be?
I'm afraid I cannot answer that. The dealings of the Saintly Seven are our business, and ours alone.
How disappointing. I had hoped to congratulate him on his promotion.
That wretched woman. Those are hardly wishes.
Esfrost all but demands us open the source to restore our diplomatic relations.
The Duchy fears neither a lack of salt nor the goddess's shield. We can assume they have a plan in mind.
Then this was no more than a ploy to stall for time. We had best expedite House Wolfort's plans to take the capital. Minister Exham, send word to Minister Serenoa.
You wish to lend us Hyzant's new weapon?
Yes, it was a directive from the Holy One. The weapon is one Minister Lila developed in secret.
I compressed a vast quantity of magic into crystal form. We call this weapon Elfric. The blast crystals have yet to be perfected, but they can decimate a castle wall easily enough.
We thank you for your support.
Be forewarned that their power makes them unwieldy in an average battle.
They are not meant to be used on people. Furthermore, we are only giving you a single blast crystal.
Regardless, I am certain it will come in handy while recapturing Whiteholm Castle.
Its incomplete nature makes it regrettably tricky to use, but Milo should be able to take care of that for you. Use them both wisely. I am Milo.
A dancer by trade, but assistant to the Saintly Seven on occasion. I shall serve you, Minister Serenoa, until we reclaim the capital.
You sure you'll be okay?
You needn't worry. It isn't my first time flirting with danger.
A Hyzantian spy?
Very likely.
The blast of the Elfric should help you catch the enemy unawares. Both my army and Minister Camcells will join in the attack. Can we entrust command to you, Minister Serenoa?
Most certainly. And the crystal will be key in our plan to reclaim Glenbrook.
You have made a grave error in allowing thieves to raid the archives, Constable Sigrus.
Forgive me. My guards gave chase as soon as they noticed intruders, but they'd already fled beyond our reach.
What did they take?
Luckily, they were unable to gain entry to where we keep our more sensitive texts. All they were able to make off with was a single book penned by the late Lady Orlea.
Orlea? She left behind a message of sorts?
She'd bid it be passed on to Lady Frederica when she came of age, but it seems those wishes were forgotten.
Thalos or Erica must have hidden it from her. They derived no greater pleasure than from tormenting her. Do we know what was written in this book?
No. Storage records indicate it was protected by some arcane seal.
It must be of some significance, if she would go to such lengths to protect it from prying eyes. Perhaps something to do with the Rosellan liberation, for which she fought so fiercely. Or perhaps it is not but a mother complaining to her daughter of a duchy they both despise.
I shall send a party to hunt down the thieves at once.
No need. Such ruffians are unlikely to be in the employ of our foe. No doubt they were simply looking to loot us to fill their own purses. It is more important that we dispose of Svarog and finish the Nell with all haste. Dispatch your soldiers there.
Aye, Your Grace.
Benedict asked me to scout out Telior and where the Esfrosti soldiers are stationed. But I hardly see any around. Why did he ask me to come here in the first place? I doubt it would matter in reclaiming the capital. But orders are orders. I should report back.
Ah, tidings from Erica. She says Hyzant refused our final offer.
You seem surprised. There was no way Hyzant would agree to open the source.
I know that, but the negotiations were meant to buy us time. Yet it seems their soldiers are already on the move. Damn it all! This wasn't supposed to happen.
If you play with fire, you get burned. Now we have no recourse but to meet them in battle without the Archduke.
So it has come to war, then?
We just have to beat them at their own game. Their newest saint is heading the vanguard. You must be delighted that a former retainer to the crown is coming to visit, right, Cordelia?
Enough, Thalas. I won't allow such impudence toward the Queen.
Queen? This child is nothing more than a puppet. And I believe the impotent one here is you, Avlora. A general has no right telling the Prime Minister what to do.
I had no idea the Prime Minister's job was to torment the weak.
Enough, General Avlora. I will answer the Prime Minister. As the Queen of Glenbrook, I shall protect my kingdom until my dying breath, no matter who may stand against me.
It appears your impudence is contagious, Avlora. Your charge knows not how powerless she is.
Worry not, Your Majesty. I shall protect you.
Because I am to wed the Archduke?
Because you are a warrior. One who does not give up, even if she must fight her battles alone. I was an orphan. I never knew my parents. I entered the army to make a place for myself. So I know better than anyone the pain of having to do everything on your own.
Allow me to bare my heart to you as well, General Avlora. As the last heir to the throne of Glenbrook, I do not intend to let Gustudolf have his way.
You mean to strike down the Archduke?
But I lack the power to do so. Have you heard of the Royalists? They're aristocrats who were aid to my father.
I have. I also heard they secretly indulged in bribes and the like for personal gain. That man Patriot was cozying up to the Archduke not seconds after King Regna's beheading. Their kind knows no loyalty.
Indeed. But Gustudolf has not given any of them a position in his court, so they have fallen on hard times. I want to ask Patriot and the other royalists for their help.
Are you mad? No doubt they would wholeheartedly embrace you as their symbol, but only for their own purposes.
I understand that, but their years in service to the crown have earned them great influence in politics. I must have their support if I'm to reclaim Glenbrook.
Is it possible for you to rein them in?
Not alone. But with you, General Avlora, I can. They lack military might. If you accompany me, I could sway them to my cause. Please, General, lend me your strength.
As an Esfrosti general, I simply cannot turn a deaf ear to what you have told me. Did you not think I would tell the Archduke of your plans?
Of course I did. But I refuse to stand idly by as a mere decoration. So if it meant earning your trust, I was willing to show you that I wish to protect Glenbrook by any means necessary.
You took a gamble.
I had to. For it is not status or reward that moves you.
So you bet on my honor, and refusal would sully my name forever. However, safeguarding the kingdom comes first. Fighting at your side will have to wait.
General Avlora!
A word of advice, Your Majesty. Both Hyzant and the Archduke are veterans of war. The fight will not be an easy one, and may rage on for many years.
Even so, I will not falter. I must do this for my father and brothers.
An admirable resolve. One which I will see fulfilled. I shall be your sword and shield, my queen.
Thank you, General of Laura.
I apologize, but are you suggesting we destroy the dam around Telior Reservoir to start a flood?
The capital city was built on the banks of the Norzelia River. Breaking the dam surrounding Lake Telior upstream will allow us to submerge a majority of the city. Flooding the town will throw their army into disarray, which should allow us to take the place by storm.
Lake Telior is a man-made reservoir. You might be able to burst through with a blast crystal.
Huette scouted the area earlier and reported seeing very few sentries. Proof enough that this is outside the Archduke's calculations.
No. The damage will be too great. The means would not justify the end, Benedict.
We cannot afford to lose.
I agree with Roland. There is already far too much blood on our hands. Perhaps it's worth speaking with the people and gaining their understanding.
Unless we reclaim Glenbrook, it's unlikely they'll understand or support our actions. We must take the capital back and show our strength and resolve first.
So that means you stand by Benedict, then?
If we have a sure shot at winning, we need to take it, no matter the consequences. We can't lose the war. We just can't.
Telior Reservoir is the kingdom's water source. The dam was constructed to protect the people from floods. I doubt they would ever forgive us should we choose to destroy it for war.
Glenbrook thrives because of that water, and to use it otherwise is inexcusable. Brute strength isn't the only way to reclaim the city. We can strike at night and defeat their commanding officers. There are ways to slip into the castle unseen.
If you have used it before, there is a chance it has been sealed off since.
There is more than one route. You needn't worry.
So you mean not to use the blast crystal?
No, I do. After we sneak in, we can sink Esfrost's warship. It would close off their escape route.
Our first priority should be ensuring the people's safety. We cannot allow them to be taken hostage. It would restrict our options as well.
She's got a point. But how do we take the capital back after that?
We could use the blast crystal to destroy the bridge connecting the town and the castle. The enemies would be stuck within the walls.
That would certainly mitigate the damages to the citizens. If we encircle the castle, we could negotiate with them.
We could ask them to yield, free Glenbrook, and re-establish the trade between our nations. I am certain we can find a way to make both parties agree.
Negotiate.
I understand your thoughts and the wishes held therein.
Allow me to ask once more. Shall we shatter the dam around Lake Telior and flood the town? Sneak in under the guise of night, sink their ships, and slay their commanding officers? Or destroy the bridge, safeguard the people, and negotiate with the enemy? Fetch the scales. It is time we decide our path.
My lord. Perhaps, but if so, I am decided. Perhaps, but if so, I may have to consult the others.
Yes, sir. In that case, I need time.
Aye, lad.
Tough spot we're in.
Serenoa. But... I need a moment to think.
Ah, yes? Possibly. I require some time to think.
It is time to cast our votes. In which strategy do we entrust the future of Glenbrook? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I am sorry.
On this, I cannot be swayed.
I cannot agree to this.
I cannot be swayed.
I'm with you.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. The way forward is decided. We collapse the bridge and trap the enemy within the castle, keeping the common folk safe from the worst of the fighting.